it takes a bit of time for the prefrontal cortex to develop. In fact, they say it takes almost 25, a person who is 20 or a teenager, the prefrontal cortex has not, very well developed. So sometimes when you see them being impassive, it's not their fault.
It is the development that is not fully.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. But anyway, those are the two parts of the brain that are developing very fast in this small human being of ours. The brain is very critical in the socio-emotional development of our baby and the ability to internalize the competencies that will help them now to regulate themselves and to relate well with others and to interact with their environment productively. So at this juncture of our baby's development, it's important that mom eats foods that are like rich in nutrients for the brain. And these are like foods that have omega-3 nutrients. In Kenya, we have our omena. We have tilapia, we have Nile perch. At the coast there, we have sardines, all those different types of fish. They are rich, they are dense, they are rich in omega-3. Besides that, we also have other foods that are locally available that have these nutrients, the vitamins, the proteins, and the minerals that we need for our brain development. So foods like green vegetables, and we have plenty of them in Kenya. Like spinach, and even the traditional greens that we so love. Beans, they are rich in choline and protein, which is also very good for the brain. Nuts, like almonds.
You are also a nutritionist here.
I need to learn because this is information that supports the social emotional development of our babies. So we need to learn all this information. So that
and share the way you are doing, the way you are doing.
So even dairy products, milk, yogurt is also good. And lean meat is also good. Eggs, although they shouldn't. It's also good for our expectant mothers to work with their health practitioners so that they are also guided on the amounts to take such that it is adequate and nutritious for the baby. But I just wanted to stress that point, that just besides just taking a healthy diet, it's very important to focus on foods that will nourish the brain of the baby. It doesn't only help in social emotional learning, but also in cognitive development. And actually integrated, because the brain is the one that even controls the development of other parts of the baby, like physical development. So it's very, very important. Then as our baby is growing, I said they are super developing. By the age of 3 months, 18 months their sense of touch is already developed. What does that mean? It means that this baby already can start interacting with you through their touch receptors, So I would want to encourage our mothers and our fathers and anyone who is close to the baby to give the baby bump massage, strokes, you know, because that way you're stimulating the sense of touch of the baby, and those messages are being recorded, you remember, in the amygdala, and the baby knows that there are people out there who know that he or she, I'm here, and I am loved, and they are concerned about me. That is already, they're already storing that. So during this stage of conception to 1.5 years, babies are supposed to internalize a competence of trust, so that they're able to trust their caregivers, now the mother, the dad, and the family, and any other caregiver, and they also now reflect or mirror that trust to themselves. They also know that they are lovable, and they learn to love themselves. Remember, we talked about self-love and self-acceptance. Yeah, so that is very critical. Then as baby grows again, the other senses also come up. So the sense of taste and smell, and we say it is important. That's about maybe 5 months, going to 6 months. It is important that the mother eats a balanced diet, because the baby is able to taste those the taste of the foods. Of course, they are feeding on that, but they're also able to taste that food through the amniotic fluid. And they will actually, when they are born, they already have this knowledge of what the mother was.
I'm liking that.
They
have this knowledge.
Yes, of what the mother was feeding on. So experts tell us that you can actually program your baby to be a healthy like feeder. You know, they go for the foods that are nutritious. They go for the foods that will benefit their growth and development. Because if you feed, whatever you feed on, the baby is likely to show preference to those foods when you wean them at the age of 6 months. They will prefer those foods that the mother was eating them because they are familiar. Remember, we are human beings. We love what is familiar. And we are very wary about what is unfamiliar. But if we eat junk, you know, again, it is detrimental to this baby. And I am connecting this because our growth and development is integrated. So if I am affected physically, that is also bound to impact negatively on my socio-emotional development. So if the baby now has a preference for junk food, you know, and you're also feeding them on junk food, doctors and experts tell us that there's a likelihood that these babies will develop, diseases. For example, obesity, blood sugar issues, as they grow up. So it's very, very important for us to be intentional. The key word I want to emphasize, Jane, is about being deliberate and intentional on how we are impacting on our babies in the womb. Now,
before we get more to that, I am stuck somewhere on the baby bump. You talked about just massaging. And some of us may not have known that is important. And that is why I'm saying I'm stuck there. Because I would request you to really emphasize on the importance of that. You can do it, of course, if you may do it in hiding, but because you're intentional, as you're saying, deliberate, as you're saying, so that you are doing it for the welfare and the benefit of your baby.
Of the baby.
That is yet to come.
I love the fact that you're emphasizing that, Jane, because actually our children at this age are like wet sponge. You know, they absorb they absorb, and it is stored as messages, that they will make reference to. So this is an opportunity for the mother and the father and even the siblings. I always say, let the siblings know that an additional is coming to the family so that they are also psychologically ready to receive this baby. So there's no harm in creating, first and foremost, mom-baby time, quality time. Like set aside. It could be a working mom, but when you come home, you also need to relax. So set aside some time where it is massage time. Use
intentionally
some natural oils, to be able to properly massage, especially when the baby is a bit grown, like their spinal cord is developed and you start getting those kicks and movement in the body. When you massage them, they even move. In response, I say, in appreciation of what you're doing.
They're saying, I'm here,
and I am so thankful, and I love you. Because you're massaging, it's like you're telling them, hey, there, I love you. I know you're there and I love you. And they're telling you, Mom, I love you, right back. You don't know how much, So that is super, super important. Yes. And it's not just for the moms. I want to encourage the dads too. Please take time to also get to bond, not to get acquainted, but to bond with your unborn child, because even as we move on and talk about the sense of hearing, they will be able to hear and master the voices of those around them, So they will know that voice, and they will know moms even before they are born. So it's very, very important. It's just not just a mom's affair. It is also a dad's affair. It's also the siblings' affair. Yeah.
When I was expectant for my two babies, long time ago, I used to speak to my baby. I would speak scriptures.
Oh, wow.
I would speak Deuteronomy 28. I would tell them that you'll be great.
Yes. Oh, wow.
I would speak to them.
Yes.
I would touch.
Yes.
And then, of course, when you place your heart there, you feel like there's some sensation, there's some movement. And I would speak scriptures. I would tell them you'll be great in the land.
Yes.
I would say Isaiah 3:10. I would speak, you eat the good of the land.
Oh, wow.
Even when I'm feeling I'm a bit low, I would still talk to them. And then when I did it out of my I didn't know what you're talking about here, but I was just like, I want to talk to my baby. I call the name I want them to be.
Yes.
I would just speak to them.
Yes.
And some of the foods, as you're saying, that I loved, they love them today.
Amazing.
Yes.
I just love
whether it was a craving or whatever it was,
Yes.
but I'm telling you, I'm really getting what you're talking about.
Jane, because those are called, they are the positive affirmation. Maybe now we can jump to the sense of hearing.
Yes.
Because now this is where now they hear what you're saying. They may not be able to make sense of it, but their minds are alert and they are absorbing that. So those positive affirmations, now the Christian positive affirmations and other positive affirmations that the parents may have for their children, they need to voice them. They need to tell them like you did. Like I said when I started, that these children are born for greatness. You are setting the pace and the foundation for that greatness, so that your child, just springs up and becomes exactly, I love that, exactly what God created them to be.
Yeah.
Yeah. The other thing that I wanted to mention, which is very critical here, is the emotional well-being of the mother. And I know we talked about it at the beginning, but experts and recent research has also told us that babies they are influenced by the emotional state of their mother. So, for example, if the mother is happy most of the time, she emits dopamine, you know, happy hormones.
Yes.
Yeah.
Serotonin.
And others. And then these hormones actually infiltrate into the baby through the placenta. So if the mother is stress-free and happy, the baby is also stress-free and
happy.
Unfortunately, the vice versa also happens.
Yes.
So if the mother is distressed, you know, or depressed, she produces cortisol. That is the stress hormone. And this stress hormone, when it is produced in certain amounts, it also infiltrates into the baby through the placenta. So your baby is also depressed.
Yeah.
And science tells us you can even detect, because there'll be reduced movement, you know. And sometimes they say that when they take pictures of, you know, the baby inside the womb, they are able to sometimes see some, you know, babies crying, you know. So I just wanted to bring that out, that I know sometimes life happens, and the pregnancy period can be a stressful period, but we need to be aware of how this impacts on our baby. So self-care is paramount. And daddies, self-care for your wives is paramount. Please treat them like queens, because you are treating your little son or your little daughter as a prince when you treat your wife as a queen. Those massages that your wife needs when they come home tired, give them, massage their feet, do the little niceties that they need, because you're doing it for your child. Yeah, your child is the ultimate beneficiary of the you know, the good treatment, the emotional well-being of your wife. So some of the things that we take for granted, you know, like scheduling and being very deliberate with your self-care program. Take some time for just me time, quality time, me time, you know, and do the things that you like, you know. Enjoy some music, you know, take a walk, go for swimming, let your husband spoil you, you know, or your boyfriend, you know, whatever. And if you have issues that you are wrestling with, get support, because we have a support system.
Yes.
Around us. Identify your support system. If they are beyond that, get professional help, because you need to have the right frame of mind for the healthy emotional, socio-emotional development of your baby. Make sure that you attend all your antenatal clinics, because that gives you peace of mind to know that your baby is developmentally on track. Make sure that you also have an exercise regime, of course, non-strenuous exercises, because they will help you also during delivery time. Yeah, there are many things. I'm sure all of us have our self-care programs in place, and you can do a bit of research to see what suits you, but it is paramount that we take care of ourselves, so that we are able to be stress-free, and our babies are also able to be stress-free. Yeah.
Wow. So what we are talking about, we are saying this socio-emotional learning starts way back.
Yes.
Before even I conceive.
Yes.
When I conceive, it is now the time to be intentional.
Exactly.
It's the time to be deliberate.
Exactly.
It's the time to focus on what I'm carrying.
Exactly.
And you know, I'm looking at you and I'm like, awesome, awesome. Because I guess some of us will carry a pregnancy, and if it is not stressful, we are okay.
Yeah.
But there are things that we need to do, so that we can bring out this baby when the baby is healthy.
Exactly. Which is so important.
It is.
Yes, yes.
It is.
Yes.
And that's why my eyes are popping out, because I'm like, yeah. And I think this information needs to go to almost everyone.
Exactly.
Because the young ladies, the youth, they've not gotten babies, but they can learn this so that they can be ready.
Absolutely.
When it comes, it doesn't matter when, but when it comes, then they'll be ready.
They can tap into it.
They can tap into it.
Yes.
So that they can speak.
Yes.
They can bring out a healthy baby.
Exactly.
Where?
You know, we always say that the foundation of every whatever that we have is it's like everything.
Yes.
If you build a house with a weak foundation, the house is bound to crumble.
Yes.
Like this plant, if you didn't do the necessary preparation for it to be supported, you know, to sprout and grow, probably it will dry and wither.
Yeah.
The same case, if we don't give our babies the best start in life, then it means that could affect their progressive development going forward. So that is why I'm talking about being intentional and being deliberate. It's not just about carrying a pregnancy to term. It is carrying a pregnancy to term while making sure that your baby is well supported to achieve those preterm developmental milestones.
So at this point, we have already now laid a foundation for our building. For example, our building is this baby. Before, so it's the cement, it is the steel and everything else, because we want to build a strong building. For example.
Exactly.
So what it takes for us, the sand and everything, what it takes for us to bring this strong baby, healthy baby, is all what we are talking about.
Is what we are talking about.
Socio-emotional learning.
Opportunities.
Opportunities.
I like to call them socio-emotional learning opportunities.
Yes.
Because it is an opportunity that you deliberately think about and provide for your baby, so that they can work through. Babies work to achieve those developmental milestones. But they need a referee. They need a support system. And that is the mother, the father, and other significant caregivers around the baby. But they do their work. They are very industrious. They push. They want to do it. And they do it, but they need our support.
They need our support.
Exactly.
Just asking myself that what would it take for a community to learn this, so that probably share with us some of the opportune outlets where this information can be accessed. Not necessarily now, like for directly, I'll come to that later as we are closing up. But I'm like, for us, some of us are in the communities, some of us are in mashinani, we are in town, but there are those that we may need that information. How can they easily get it? Because what you're talking here, it is required by everybody. Yes.
Okay, thank you so much for that. What I love about our country is that we have very good structures in place. Both government and now that we have even county government, and also non-governmental institutions. So any institution that has a focus on early childhood development, and this is our health facilities, because actually that is where we get all the support that we need to make sure that our babies are developing as per you know, their developmental milestones. They are achieving them as per their developmental stages. And they also deliver our babies. You know? So the health medics, you know, at least have the information. Maybe there is a gap in terms of the socio-emotional learning, and that is why I have decided, and many other people who are focusing on early childhood development, we are actually emphasizing on socio-emotional development and learning, because there's a tendency, you know, just to focus on the physical, you know, what is your baby eating? Are they healthy? You know, and that is it. But we are not looking at, you know, what values, you know, what attitudes, you know, are they learning, you know, to be able to manage themselves and to relate well with others.
And thrive.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah. So, okay. In terms of government, health facilities, I know we have early childhood development centers, like the daycares and whatever. Some of this information can also be accessed there. For us, we have Uhaibora Africa. It's a very new organization which started at the beginning of the year. And our focus is just to ensure that every child accesses adequate socio-emotional learning opportunities from conception all the way up to 18 years. Yeah. So to be able to reach as many people as possible, we have started a YouTube channel which is called Born for Greatness at Uhaibora.
I love that.
Yeah,
Born for Greatness. Yes.
Our children are born for greatness. Born for Greatness at Uhaibora Africa. And we are progressively looking at the competencies that children need to learn at different stages of growth and development, and the socio-emotional opportunities that parents and caregivers need to present. Yeah, so anyone can access that content. It's free of charge. It's online, and it's our joy when many people are reached with this information. Yeah. And then, of course, there are we call them non-governmental organization, NGOs, that have a focus on early childhood development. They also do amazing work at a community level. So people can, find out which non-governmental organization is in my area and are they focusing on early childhood development, and then they can be able to access information from there. Yeah. Teachers are also a huge resource. Counselors are a huge resource. We have community health workers. Now we call them community health volunteers.
Yes.
They're at the community level, actually at Nyumba Kumi level.
Yes.
And these are also people who have been empowered with a lot of information and knowledge, and they can be able to share that. We have community first aid workers, prepped by NGOs and government. Again, these are people who also have some information that they can be able to share with community members. Otherwise, parents can also go maybe online, look for a book that can help when you're preparing to get a baby or when you're expectant, and do a bit of reading on that. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so now we've majorly focused on the preterm, not preterm, prenatal stage of growth and development. Yes. But our baby, when they are born, we also need to work with them. And still when they are born, especially that moment, this one I need to say, Jane. When this baby pops into this world, it is a shock for this baby, because they were used to those womb-like conditions that were just comfortable. Imagine he's just swimming in nice amniotic fluid and being massaged by that fluid. And if food is readily available, the temperatures are just right. And then they pop into a world.
Harsh one.
Their lights, they were shielded. Initially, they were shielded from these bright lights. Yes. They are blinded by the light. The baby will feel awkward, they will be anxious, they will feel like the world is hostile. Yeah, so I encourage, and many experts encourage, that the mother breastfeeds the baby as soon as possible, because the colostrum from the mother's breast is familiar. It tastes like the amniotic fluid. It's familiar to the baby. Then do a skin to skin. Let your baby experience your skin, because they're already familiar with your scent. And that it makes them feel at home. Talk to your baby because they already know your voice.
Yes.
Sing to them, welcome them, tell them how much you love them.
Yes. Yes.
That makes them feel secure.
Yes.
And it gives them a softer
landing. Yeah.
I just want to quickly mention those other competencies that we need to focus on as our child grows and develops.
Go ahead.
I had mentioned that we are helping them to master the competence of trusting themselves and trusting others from 0 up to 1.5 years. From 1.5 years to 3 years, now the toddlers, they want to be autonomous. They want to know that they can manage themselves. So sometimes we get discouraged and it becomes like they are too much when they are running all over, dropping everything. But they're just trying to master that autonomy. And it is very, very important because if they don't master that autonomy, then they will internalize shame and doubt.
Yeah.
They will grow up doubting themselves and, feeling ashamed of themselves. So we need to, give them space to move around, help them with toilet training. Sometimes we are harsh and, baby coils and they actually even delay learning the skill of, toileting. So we need to be very gentle. We need to help them develop at their own pace, learning to feed themselves, etc. Then from 3 to 5 years, they internalize the skill of initiation, initiating tasks, like clothing, themselves, choosing what they want to wear, feeding themselves, brushing their teeth, all those small tasks. Playing through, playing their game, and you find babies, our children at that age engaging in a lot of pretense games. We call them Baba Mama.
Yes.
If they have witnessed a doctor, they will pretend to be a doctor. So let's encourage them and play these games with them, but let them take the senior role. Like, let them be the doctor. Let them, the lead role.
Yeah.
Thank you. Or the dad or the mom. So that they can feel they have initiated. That gives them confidence, and they much later, as they grow up, they are able to now undertake tasks, confident enough to undertake projects and execute them. Now, if we stifle this, they internalize guilt, because every time, for example, they try to do something and you shout at them and tell them no, and it's natural.
Yes.
It's like when you're thirsty and you want to drink water.
Yes.
That's the same experience that this child is going through. They want to do it and feel that they have achieved. So when you suppress that, they internalize guilt. They start thinking they are inadequate and there is something wrong with them. Yeah. Then going forward, from 5 years to 13 years, there is a competence of industry. Now they are in pre-primary, elementary school or primary school, so they are more complex tasks. They also want to engage more with friends. So again, providing that supportive role. And I always say, treat your baby with respect. When you respect them, you are acknowledging that their person, their identity, their ability, and you're just supporting them to be the best version of themselves. Don't superimpose, do not impose yourself on your child. So helping them now here to excel in their schoolwork, to participate in community and family activities, that helps them to sharpen their skill set in different aspects of their life. And it's a very good foundation even for their career, because now they'll start learning a few skills in different aspects of life, which is going to be like a foundation for their future careers. And then, of course, we come to the interesting and the famous stage of adolescence,
yes,
which is identity, where they are trying to identify who am I, and they will prefer to relate more with their peers, even more than parents. Again, respect, empathy. You know, it's not that your child is big-headed. No, it's just that they are trying to find themselves and to nurture that individuality and discover their gift so that they can share it with the world. So the best that we can do is to listen actively. So you listen to their feelings and you also listen to the feelings behind their words, so that you understand where they're coming from. Talk less. Help them to explore so that they can
allow them to be
with solutions that the solution to the problems or the challenges that they are experiencing. But expose them a lot, so that they can flex their muscles, their wings, and now see the best fit for them, you know, because this is the time that, you know, they really want to be known as, this is Peter, this is Jane, this is who I am. Yeah. So I'm not saying that you don't guide. There is a lot of guidance, but with wisdom.
Yes.
And respect.
Yes.
And empathy. Yeah. Yeah.
So our adolescent will be able to thrive, will be able to express themselves.
Exactly.
Their self-esteem will not be curtailed.
Exactly.
They will be able to move on.
Yes.
Yeah. Now, before we close this session,
yes,
you may have a parting shot.
Yes. And
before the parting shot, you may talk about your book now.
Thank you so much, Jane.
Yeah.
Yes, I would love to talk about my book. This is a book that I've written. It's actually not it's actually a manual. It's a facilitator's manual. We call it Created for Greatness, a socio-emotional learning manual for facilitators who are working with children and youth. The reason why I decided to write this book is because we are not perfect parents, and there are no perfect children. Even me and you, we are still learning.
Yes.
And we are still developing socio-emotionally. So it is a reflective journey where we are able to identify our gaps and, you know, work through those gaps. So this manual is an experiential based, we use experiential methodology. It's activity based and supports our children to walk through different learning opportunities that help them to reflect on those 3 areas that I talked about. Reflect on their self-awareness, reflect on their relationship with others, and reflect on why they were born, their life purpose, and how they can tap that, nurture that to transform their world and the world around them. Yeah. So this book, we will start implementing it in December, and we'll be able to send out information through our YouTube channel on the forums that we'll have when children are closing for the long vacation. So that we can work with them and help them to address any gaps that they have in their socio-emotional learning journey. Yeah.
For me, this information I can listen, watch, and want you to continue on and on and on. But apart from the book, are there other outlets or other forums, other fora that you have been sharing this information? And if yes, how can we be able to access you? How can we be able to get this very crucial information for us, for our consumption, and for the well-being of our babies?
Yes. Thank you so much, Jane, for that question.
Yes.
As I have mentioned, you know, for us to hack or for us to successfully support our children to achieve the desired socio-emotional competencies, all of us need to be ready to support, because one way or another we impact on, when we interact with children, we impact on their lives. But there are the significant others, starting with parents, starting with caregivers. We have caregivers at home, at family level, and even at institutional level, and teachers also, and people who are working with children at community level. So I have been involved at different capacities in coming up with programs, targeted programs for different caregivers at different level. At community level, I have worked with teachers, life skills teachers, teacher counselors, and I have also worked directly with children, which is something I love so much, to help them reflect on themselves and be able to see where they need to improve and what they need to improve that. Yeah, the socio-emotional learning journey is not about impacting knowledge, but it is about creating opportunities for self-reflection so that a child can reach that aha moment.
Yeah.
And see the relevance of that content or that knowledge to their lives, applied to change their lives and to change the lives of others around them. So that is the outcome that we look for when we do our social-emotional learning trainings. Yes. Yeah. That will come to me.
I'm taking something away from here.
Yes.
Created for greatness.
Oh, yes.
And at this point, I would really request you, what is your parting shot for us?
Yes.
For me, I've taken my takeaway.
Yes.
Created for greatness from before conception.
Yes.
What is your takeaway for our viewers?
Our lovely viewers, first and foremost, I want to acknowledge, appreciate, and congratulate you for the work that you're doing to support our children. It is noble and it is critical. And that is why I am talking about being deliberate, so that we can be very reflective, reflect on what impact have I left on the life of that child, even if it's just a small engagement, like you've met a child on the road and you have talked to that child. What kind of impact have you left in the life of that child? Is it an impact that builds the child, or is it an impact that destroys, let me just put it in black and white, destroys that child? It's important for all of us as caregivers to be very reflective, in our different settings, whether we are parents, whether we are teachers, whether we are at the community, at the church level, because we also interact, and mosque level. We interact with children a lot. And I said, children, especially in early years, are dependent, and they are looking at you to see how you view them, how you're relating with them, and they mirror that to themselves. So let's be very deliberate so that we can help them to cultivate a positive self-concept or self-image, because that will help them to be confident, and that will help them to understand themselves and to engage productively with others and the world. Then the other thing that I wanted to say, which I really wanted to mention but I didn't mention, is about screen time. Screen time, our phone, especially for the little ones when you are bringing them. I know we are now in the digital era, and we have phones, we have TVs, we have everything. But recent studies have, revealed that children learn zero, almost nothing from screen time if there is no meaningful engagement with the caregiver. So if your child is crying, please do not put them in front of the TV for them to be entertained. They are not going to learn anything, and or give them your phone to play a game. So we need to be very watchful. We need to empower our children so that they can also, take care of their own safety, and be friendly to our children so that they talk to us and we are able to detect if this child is at risk or they are going through any form of child abuse.
Thank you so much, Anne.
So
I can't thank you more. I can't thank you more. This is awesome. This was a beautiful episode. I can just describe it in all the words that can be possible, because I've loved it. I've taken from Anne that we were created for greatness. You are seated there as a mother and you are saying, this child is good for nothing. Please resist that. Retract that. Your child was made for greatness. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. I can go on and on and on. My viewer, thank you very much for being with us. And I would request you, just share. And this will be helpful to so many people. And until next time, when we meet here on Health Now Show, your health friend, God bless you, enjoy yourself, and enjoy listening and learning social emotional learning. God bless you once again.